What is happening, guys? Cowboy here, back with another Heroes of the Storm strategy showcase, and today we are taking a look at Li-Ming the Wizard. Now, I gotta say, I say this about almost every hero that comes out, but Li-Ming is my new bae. Li-Ming is so fucking amazing, and especially after Nova getting the nerf, Li-Ming fills that niche as a hero who can global people, and it's just something beautiful. So, we're going to queue up because the queues are a bit long, and we'll go into everything like normal. So, with our abilities, first up we have magic missiles. You fire 3 missiles out towards an area, each of them deals damage to the first enemy they hit. When coupled with stuns, this is a very powerful focus DPS tool when you can focus all your missiles on one person. And the range is kind of variable, so you can, it's like 3 lines intersecting, and the missiles you can, you'll see it when we get in the game. Anyway, from there we have Arcane Orb, which is a bit of a longer cooldown. We fire out an orb, and basically the farther it goes, the more damage it'll do. So enemies that are hit on the outer half of the large circle on the orb, which I'll show you when we get in game, end up taking the most damage. So you do want to try and practice with this to make sure you're hitting enemies with just the tip. Moving on from there, we have Teleport, and this is our mobility. It's on a relatively short cooldown at 5 seconds, and initially the distance is rather short, but you can use this to very quickly juke skill shots and in some cases escape certain death. And our trait, which is what makes her so ridiculous, critical mass. Basically, anytime we participate in a kill, whether we get it ourselves or it was just a hero we hit that dies a couple seconds later, all of our abilities are reset. And that includes our heroics. So jumping into our 2 heroics, 2 choices here that are both really good. It just depends what you need. Our first choice is Disintegrate, where we channel a very powerful beam that'll deal damage over 2.5 seconds, and the beam will basically swing wherever our mouse cursor is. The second is Wave of Force, which is a targetable knockback AoE damage move. You can basically place this relatively high range, actually, considering how it works in Diablo 3. And it's really good for separating the enemy team from themselves. You drop a good wave of force, knock a guy back into your group, and then pick him off. That being said, I'm a bigger fan of Disintegrate. So we're going to go into, this is going to be basically my standard build for 90% of the time. There are a couple of things that will change depending on your comp, but in general, Astral Presence at 1, at 4, Essence of Johann, or S of Johann, at 7, Zai's Vengeance, at 10, Disintegrate, at 13, Illusionist, at 16, Mirror Ball, and then at 20, Talrash's Elements. Now the only 2 tiers where you might take something else, at 7, if you have a very stun-focused comp, and you know that you can hit your magic missiles on a single target, Seeker is a superior skill to Zai's Vengeance. The 25% bonus damage we're getting right here is still less than the additional bonus damage we're getting on Seeker. And on top of that, you can use magic missiles 3 times in the time it would take you to use Arcane Orb once. With that being said, though, of course you need to hit the same target with all 3 of your missiles to get that bonus damage. And, in the middle of a team fight, there's people running around, there's, turrets, there's little summons coming up, hydralisks, all kinds of crap. Whereas, even though the damage it's relatively close. It's like a 5% difference between the boost we get here versus the boost we get here. But with Zai's Vengeance, that damage is going to affect everything. So because of that, I just prefer it in that category. And then at 16, depending on your comp, if you really need to focus on poking, Arcane Orbit does give you ridiculous range. That being said, the 25% damage boost from Arcane Orbit and the 25% damage boost from Zai's Vengeance still don't even come close to having 1 extra missile. So having 2 extra missiles makes Mirror Ball the clearly superior choice in terms of a DPS boost. If you are being focused very hard, Diamond Skin can be incredibly powerful, especially when coupled with Illusionist. Basically, if you take 15% of your health, you're going to get your teleport refreshed, and then on top of that, you're going to get 25% of your health as a shield. And then you can have this occur every 4 seconds. So needless to say, it can give Li-Ming a large chunk of survivability. But with that in mind, you're passing up basically the biggest DPS increase you can get. Since the queues are a bit longer, we're just going to go through all the talents. So at Tier 1, Astral Presence, the main reason we're going to take this is what's going to allow us to stay in lane and stay in the fight. Basically, you'll still want to top off your mana before any big objective or big team fight, but by picking up this, it's going to allow us to basically, kind of hover around that 50% mark and not have to leave the lane. While Power Hungry sounds great on paper, 100% more mana and 10% ability power, fact is, you're counting on just happening to have orbs around all the time. And while 20 seconds is a relatively long time, I'd rather not count on orbs as my damage or as my mana source. Force Armor, in some cases, this could be nice. Can hold up to 4 charges. You can only get 1 charge per cast. You know, having that spell block can be pretty good, but at the end of the day, if you're playing Li-Ming properly, your threat isn't going to be spells. The threat to you is going to be melee heroes that are going to rush in. Stuff like Zeratul, Illidan, Thrall, Sonya. The stuff that can dive in on you and get in your face. Not the Jaina's or the Kaels or the other Li-Mings. Aether Walker, pointless, don't take it. As for 4, now S of Johann I would consider an absolute necessity in building your Li-Ming. And the reason for this is what's going to allow you to do your Wombo combo, where you throw out your Arcane Orb. Immediately after that, you cast your magic missiles, and then following that, you do Disintegrate. And if all timed properly, when the orb hits an enemy, it's basically going to pull them into your missiles as well as your Disintegrate, and you can use this to completely global very squishy heroes. So stuff like another Li-Ming, Nova, you know, in some cases Jaina or Kael, anything that's known for being squishy, you can absolutely decimate using that combo. Charge Blast, on the other hand, not all that good, because we don't really want to get into melee range to take advantage of that bonus damage. And Triumvirate, while it sounds great on paper, fact of the matter is, you're not going to always hit an enemy hero, and you know, when it does, getting 7-second reduction can be quite nice, but you're missing out on the combo potential from S of Johann. Dominance can be nice if you're doing a very aggressive roaming type build, but the way I find it, I'm always at the backline anyway, and I'm not really taking too much health. I find I can, you know, keep myself sustained pretty much just through teleporting out of combat when I need to and avoiding damage altogether, so I don't really see this being all that valuable. Right here, Calamity, don't do it. I mean, teleport builds might be cool, teleporting in and doing damage and getting a shield, but at the end of the day, you're way better off with either Zay's Vengeance or Seeker. Like I said, high amounts of stuns, Seeker is going to be great. Otherwise, I go for Zay's Vengeance. It's kind of my standard. As for 10, personally, I prefer Disintegrate. Wave of Force isn't bad, but you know, we're looking at 160 damage versus 440 damage, so it's very much for the positional need from it. If you have a team that lacks that completely and you don't have any CC, it could be a decent choice, but I find Disintegrate is much better at securing kills, and securing kills is extremely important with Li-Ming, as it's going to reset all of your abilities. Going on to 13, probably the only one to mention here is Glass Cannon, which in a sense is kind of a noob trap. You know, it sounds very nice. 15% ability power in exchange for 15% maximum health. But the fact is, aside from Abathur and Murky, Li-Ming currently has the lowest health pool in the game. And cutting that down by another 15% is going to make you extremely vulnerable to heroes that want to just jump in and take you out. Cannoneer, in a similar way, you know, it kind of with Charge Blast again. You don't really want to be getting into melee range unless everything is dead. So that is obviously overlooked. Whereas Illusionist, that 50% range is going to give us that extra little bit we need to get over walls and escape fights. And on top of that, having the cooldown reset every 4 seconds if we take more than 15% of your health will definitely save your ass in more than a few situations. As we hit 16, we got Fireflies as one option. Magic missiles move faster, lower cooldown. You know, it sounds nice on paper, but the fact of the matter is that extra speed isn't going to be needed, especially because we have S of Johann pulling them on into our magic missiles. Arcane Orbit, like I said, there is some potential here. The 25% range is quite long, so much so that to hit your Arcane Orbit at kind of the range you want to get maximum damage, you're basically at the max range of your Disintegrate. And I feel that that kind of knocks away your synergy, because you can't combo your Arcane Orbit. Well, the way you'd have to do it is cast Arcane Orbit and then teleport in and use your magic missiles and your Disintegrate, which can work, but then you've already used your escape to initiate, and that's not something that I would consider smart with a hero as squishy as Li-Ming. Diamond Shield, like I said, some obvious synergy there with Illusionist. If you really need it, it's a solid pick, but I can't justify passing up the damage potential that I would have from Mirror Ball. As for 20, Temporal Flux, Disintegrate slows enemies by 60%. You know, not a bad skill if you have almost no slows on your team, something to think about. Repulsion, if you do take Wave of Force, Repulsion is actually pretty disgusting. The 100% cast range and 150% knockback increase really allow you to separate enemy teams from each other and pick kills off. That being said, Talrash's Elements is such an amazing skill if you know how to cycle properly. Just because, you know, like I said, you're going to have this combo where you're going to Orb, you're going to toss out your missiles, and then immediately following that, you're going to go in with Disintegrate. So right there, all three of those abilities are going to see the benefit of that 20% ability power boost. On top of that, with teleport being on such a low cooldown, you can use teleport to reset that cycle before, like, you know, right after your cycle is done, you could go into another magic missile and then teleport and then magic missile again and then orb and then magic missile. So the point is, as long as you're rotating through your abilities, that 20% is basically just going to be constant, making it very, very nice. The only other talent, of course, is Archon. It's cool, I'll say that. Archon is really cool, being able to just, you know, go around and disintegrate everything. At the end of the day, you know, you're losing out on your burst potential, and that's just not something I can agree with. So, quite a long queue, but, you know, we managed to use that time to completely explain every single aspect of the Li-Ming talent tree. We'll be able to just focus on the match now. I do have Endel along with me. I think he's muted since this is going to be a guide, but a lot of you guys know him from the Daily Hero series. He has had a huge erection for Lunara ever since they updated her. You know, basically fixing up her attack animation, just making her feel a lot more fluid. And we got it. So just to show the abilities, Magic Missile, you can kind of see how the reticle works with this. As for the orb, what you want to aim to do, basically how you can see there's this big circle right here. Right now, I would get maximum damage hitting the core. Right now, I wouldn't. So you want to always aim to hit targets on the outer edge of that circle, if possible, and that's where you're going to see the maximum damage from it, the 464 in this case. So kind of a weird team comp, to be honest. I mean, Murky and Asmo both have some potential here. And then on top of that, Artanis, pretty tanky compared to Chen, whereas Chen's just kind of like distract. Hammer, I'll be blowing up. Nova, I'll be blowing up. Li-Ming, I'll be blowing up. And we're going to actually... Oh, damn, they already took out... Oh, it's a Nova up there. Whatever. I'm going to help push this lane with Asmo. Actually have pretty insane push potential with Li-Ming. Kind of like absurd what she can do to towers and things like that. Okay, you want to play like that? Chen, you will die. You will die, Chen. I'm sorry, you're not going to survive Li-Ming. I gotta say though, Abathur doing a really good job with those mines. Those are going to be quite annoying. Maximum range on that. And that's one tower down. And don't be afraid to basically just, you know, go through your abilities, use them up. Because like I said, you're going to be, you have that kind of 50% sustain with your mana. So, you know, you can really just kind of use abilities for days and not worry too much about it. So with an altar up, we are going to mana up, of course. Max health, get as much mana as possible.
Activate the shrine.
This is really going to come down to whether or not we nuke Hammer. If Hammer dies, we'll win every single shrine. And Hammer is not very good against Bay. Oh, damn it, she's already gone. You can see I'm being very careful with the positioning here. To really get good damage in, I'm going to have to circle around and hit the enemy team. I think Chen wants to die again. This is kind of a bad map for this for orbs, just because there is so much crap getting in the way of the orbs. You know, all these little dudes. So some of them are getting knocked out, but I can go up top here, help Endel out. Goodbye, Chen. Ooh, good juke, Chen boy. Oh no, they're gonna win this. Shit. It's alright. We can knock this thing out fast enough that it won't be a major concern. Artanis getting kind of nuked.
My spells are ready.
Murky is just getting baited for days around this Abathur. It's kind of funny.
Where to?
Get out of here, Nova. See, look how sad that is. Nova, previously, Nova would have killed. Instead, now she's just neutered so badly. Actually, I'm going to go back, heal up, because we're going to have another shrine in just a second here.
The shrine is gathering power, heroes.
Here we go.
Do not let our enemy claim the Punisher's power.
Ooh, she managed to get out before I could land it.
Should I even be here?
They're 10 now. This is no good. This is not good. I don't know why they haven't started this yet. It's like they're trying to just buy time and wipe us, but they're not doing a good enough job at it. Fuck. She should have been dead there. Goodbye.
Was entertaining?
And now we're 10.
Killing spree.
Try not.
That was actually kind of surprising. Can't believe the other team didn't wipe us out. They had the chance and they... So there's the combo that I was talking about. Goodbye, hammer. Kind of disgusting when you get to see it in action like that. It's really, really brutal. Goodbye, Nova.
If this were easy, everyone would do it.
Really low on mana. We only need one, though.
All right then. I
A
must fall
mortal
back.
Punisher joins the
Alright, so I'm going to have to go back way too low to stick around. So checking the damage, 25,000 hero damage so far, basically ruining everyone else in terms of comparison.
Slay that hero. Sometimes I really
Abathur, that was silly.
That was entertaining. If this were easy, everyone would do it.
One of the other great things I like about Li-Ming is all of your abilities are such low cooldown. Like, use Disintegrate to knock down structures. Like, you know, use everything. Do that damage. That's what makes Li-Ming so beautiful. That's why I'm never going to play Nova again, because I have a character that is a ton of fun to play. She does boss damage. She can siege. She can hero kill. It's like, what else could you want? She's basically the bee's knees. Illusionist. Well, that'll get rid of that Nova. That's one of the other great things about taking Mirror Ball. Your magic missile becomes absolutely brutal in terms of taking down mercs. Like mercs, buildings, whatever the case is. It just gives you so much kill potential. And that's kind of the same thing with taking Seeker as well. You know, the single target, that also applies to buildings, and it can be quite nice, but at the end of the day, I'd rather have the extra AoE damage that you're getting to see right there. Goodbye, Nova. You're not getting me, silly bitch.
Power gathers within a shrine. Be ready, mortals.
Oh no.
All right then.
Oh god, did not mean to do that again. Anyway, Chen's dead. I see you, Nova. You're not that sneaky. Goodbye, Hema. Right there.
Seems like my travels.
Summoned a arcane punisher from the depths.
Oh, he was gone. He's lucky he got out when he did. Actually, there we go. Wipe out that. Regroup. Oh no, he copied. He made a Chen copy as soon as that copy's dead. No, he didn't. Damn. He must have burrowed out and then he copied.
Seems like my travels.
Yeah, there he is. He's up top. Or he's like right around here. Alright, let's go mana up. I need to stay in these fights. Otherwise I won't top all the damage. Are you still up there, Abathur? I think you are. Oh yeah, you are. We're gonna come around and give him that good surprise.
I astound myself. Where to?
Alright, we gotta get down here. They're gonna actually chase her? Ah, Nova backed out. Shoot my Hearth out of here. Get my health up, get my mana. Yeah, let's see. Did she go full blink build? Oh, wow. Yeah, Calamity, Illusionist, and Diamond Skin.
Seems like my travels never
What's funny is she's still the highest damage on their team. I mean, it's just such a gimmicky build. You're losing so much. Oh god, oh, the Chen. I got too greedy trying to take out that hammer. Doesn't help our Artanis is dying a lot. Murky and Asmo could actually still win this. Damn, Li-Ming just got vaporized. This is ours. That's all dead. Oh no. Losing in hero damage now. Unacceptable. Alright. Tyrell's elements. Where is he at? He's like right here. Did he not pull all the way back? Oh no, he's behind the gate. Let me just all take a moment to appreciate how badass Star Princess is as a skin. Looks so good. Goodbye. 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 Man, that is GG. Big GG. Yes! I did beat him. Me and Endel constantly have DPS races. So not as many kill secures as I would have liked to have. Had to do a bit more rotating around this game, you know. Wanted to counter the Uther, wanted to stop the push just because of how potent her wave clear was. But still definitely a good match, and I think we got to fully showcase her potential, especially at the end there, when you guys watch people just get completely globaled. So, like I said, talent build. Once again, Astral Presence, S of Johann. Here we go either Zay's Vengeance or Seeker, depending on what kind of comp you have. Disintegration, Illusionist, Mirror Ball, and then lastly, Talrasha's Elements, getting that huge ability damage boost. So either way, guys, thanks for coming on by. Hope you enjoyed the build video for Li-Ming. Definitely a very, very fun hero to play, like a complete riot. As I mentioned, you know, with Nova being neutered, I think Li-Ming is going to be my new primary assassin, just because she's, like, more than anything, despite the absurd damage potential she has, she is just so much fun to play. So anyway, thanks for coming on by, and we will see you guys with the daily series.